Many people are intimidated at the thought of purchasing fresh sea scallops and cooking them at home, but with a simple recipe that beautifully showcases their rich flavor and wonderful texture, as well as a little bit of knowledge about scallops themselves, you'll have the knowledge and the skill you need to cook them like a pro. Let's start by looking at the scallops. These are beautiful Alaskan weathervane sea scallops from Vital Choice Organics. And these beautiful scallops are fished right off the grounds of Kodiak Island, Alaska. These are not treated with anything before they're packed, and that's what you need to look for. You need to look for dry packed scallops. A lot of scallops, once they're harvested, are treated with a chemical called sodium tripolyphosphate, also known as STP. And scallops that are treated with STP take up water and hold water in the scallop. It does two things. One, it makes the scallop shelf life longer, and two, it makes them way heavier, so you actually pay more for them at the grocery store. What happens though when you cook a scallop that's been treated with STP, when that scallop goes in the pan and you're trying to get that beautiful perfect sear, all that water is released from the scallop and it goes out into the pan, and you cannot get a sear with a lot of moisture in the pan. What you end up getting is steamed scallops instead of seared scallops. So make sure that you get dry packed scallops that have not been treated with anything. Now, to prepare these for searing, we're just going to dry them on a paper towel to make sure that they're perfectly dry. That way we'll be sure and get a beautiful sear on them. And then we're going to season them with just a little salt and pepper. And then we'll take them over to the stove and get them into a hot pan. A little salt and a little black pepper. On both sides. There we go. And now we'll go to the stove. Okay, so we have a small saute pan, and we're going to put it over medium-high heat. And as always, we heat the pan for a second first. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of canola oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. And we'll let that heat through. Always heat the pan first, then add the oil, then let the oil heat through. And then we'll add our scallops. When you put the scallops in the pan, you should hear a sizzle. If you don't hear a sizzle, the pan was not hot enough. So we'll give that just a second to heat up. A common mistake that many home cooks make when they cook scallops is that they don't let the pan get really hot before they start. So if you don't hear that sear, you've not let it gotten hot enough. And the second thing they do is they overcook them. Oops, that jumped into the pan. Scallops only need a minute or two on each side. Once you put them in, leave them alone. It's everybody's intention, as soon as something goes in the pan, they want to get in there and move it around, but that is preventing a good sear from happening. So put them in there and let them get good and crispy before you turn them. Another thing to remember is when you put them in, try to put them in an order, and then that way you'll know which one went in first and which one needs to be turned first. Okay, we're getting some nice sear on there. So we'll turn them over. You want that good golden dark color. And then we're going to let those cook on the next side. Okay, so I think those are done. So I'm going to turn them off and transfer them to a warm plate while we make the sauce for the scallops. Is simply a lemon brown butter. So what we're going to do is, I've obviously got a stick of butter here in the pan, and we're going to let that, after it's fully melted, the milk solids in the butter will start to brown, and we'll get a lovely nutty aroma and flavor, at which point we'll add some lemon juice and a little bit of seasoning, and we'll be ready. So you can see the butter has fully melted and it's simmering away. You want to keep that at about medium heat, and either swirl the pan or give it a stir every now and again. You'll want to watch it closely, because once the milk solids start to brown, things happen very quickly. Now you can see that we're starting to get browned milk solids in there. You see the color changing, and I wish you could smell this because it's got a wonderfully nutty aroma. Now, I've taken it just to the edge, and then I'm going to add some lemon juice. And I've turned the heat off. I'm just swirling that in with my whisk. And we'll add just a touch of salt. And then we're ready to plate our scallops. So here's our sauce. And if you'd like, you can strain it to get out any bits. So I'm just going to pour that through a strainer real quick. And I actually caught a lemon seed while I was at it. Then we'll take our lovely scallops. And we'll just spoon the brown butter on them. I wish you could smell this. And we'll just finish this plate with some freshly chopped chives. And there you have fresh pan-seared sea scallops with lemon and browned butter.